Hello, guys. My name is Naomi, your favorite strategic growth consultant. I'm going to teach you how to get your business from here to here. And I'm going to show you the obvious ones and the ones that you have not even thought about that is holding you back from your dream business sales, from your lead, with your visibility, and all the things you want to achieve in your business, especially when you're scaling. And today's topic we're focusing on is global versus local, the logic behind it. So when you think about business, you think about selling, customers, consumers, but you forget one key thing, the language. When it comes to the digital space, the online space, when it comes to getting the attention of the people you want, language is key. So when you're speaking to, for example, you're trying to win the hearts of the UK market or United States market or from Africa, you must master the cultural slangs of the industry. Do you understand? For example, let's say you want to sell something to a Nigerian, and the Nigerian says, I you're trying to be like, oh yeah, so your mom's gonna have a, your mom is silly. Now to another foreign speaker, it could be like, oh yeah, she's silly. But to an African and Nigerian, it's like, why would you call my mom that? Little miscommunications like that. So today, I did a deep dive, and I want you to understand exactly how why this is important and how you can get in front of it and ways in which like you can make sure like this is not an issue for you, especially with businesses and brand that want to work internationally, or you want to scale to another country, you want to do international type things with your business. So let's start. Okay, so the first thing we're looking at here is that business is a lot about language. It consists about cultural expectation. It's a whole cultural thing. It's how trust is built, and it's how these are closed. Mastering the language allows you to move from foreign vendor to strategic partner. What I think about Netflix, I don't really think about are they foreign. I just know that their means they solve my problem, number one. However, I remember when I was going on the road one day and I saw Bridgerton on my road as I was passing. I was like, oh, this is something specific. The location of the billboard, how they arranged it, how they made it speak to us, try to make it speak to me was nice. Or I remember when they were trying to advertise what show was that, and they made the actor speak in pidgin. Or talk about how speaking in pidgin was such a huge thing. And me that was from the country, I'm like, oh yeah, that is true. It is different, and it was nice that it was given the respect that he wanted. And apart from the literal language, we're going to talk about the different types of directness and indirectness, because sometimes it's not even about understanding just the slang. It's about the connotations and what things might mean in different spaces. Let's say you're trying to target the United States now, like okay. Let's say you're having a conversation, yeah, whether it's to a partner, whether it's to a client, whether it's to whoever, and like this person is from US. Now this is a context now. For people that are operating, if you're operating with people that are in America, they are more explicit and literal. What you mean is what they say is what they mean. And the slang here is more about efficiency. They like to like, okay, let's like, what is the thing? What is the metrics? What are we doing? Like, it's as you can see, America is a very they're very very fast. So when an American says goes like, let's move the needle. Like like they want things measurable. They want measurable data. They want things moving. They want like okay, so what do we need to get from point A to point B? So if you spend too much time or good day, ladies and gentlemen, my name is you're already like you are speaking the wrong dialect because they like things quick, they like things direct, and this might be perceived that this person might not be working for me, might not be the best fit for me, and you just started with greetings. In your culture, where you are raised, and what you even work with in your country, when it comes to your business, that is the important thing. You have to be like, oh, good day, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, my name is this, blah, blah, and you're like, oh my. But when you put that context now in the space of somebody in United States who is like, okay, what exactly are we doing? How are we going to get to where we need to be? What do you need? What is your price? It might feel a lot. Versus you carry that same language to United States, UK rather. This one, now communication is very indirect. And I notice a lot of people that move, even they move from other countries to United Kingdom, they find that is a bit different. They're very polite and they use sarcasm a lot. So they will not directly go like, this is a bad idea. They can go like, oh, this your proposal is very brave. And you don't understand the context. They're like, oh yes, it's brave. It's supposed to be brave because no, they're telling you like, oh, we need to pause because it's too risky, and you have not really thought about everything before you've come in. So there are some times that's why it says you have to understand the lingo of where you are going to, of where you want to carry your business to, of how you are pitching to your investors, of the slangs, the language, so that you'll be able to be like, okay, rather than be like, oh, she's just there, but like, oh, this person is somebody I can trust, because trust is the most important thing here. Once you have the good product, your good service, whatever, trust is the next thing. So we're going to talk about how exactly are we going to learn this language. Okay, I want to move I want to move the needle. I want to make sure that the customers that I'm talking to when it comes to like this space, this market is like they're doing well, they understand me, they want to work with me, the investors, why not? Let's start with the beginning. Number one, you cannot do it with dictionary. You can't do it with. You cannot perform it. You have to walk. You have to do your due diligence. So the first, but the lucky for you is not that difficult if you are serious about it. Number one, listen to the industry podcast. Don't just listen to facts. Don't just listen to hey today in America this is. Listen to the way they disagree. They agree. The metaphors they use, how they introduce themselves. That's why it's good to listen to podcasts where they are interacting in that particular country and in your industry. You will hear how they use words, how they use terms, how they use conversational pieces. That even when you might not be using the term, you'll be able to understand what the other person means. And even when you make mistakes, you know, be that kind of mistake that is like, oh my gosh, this person does not understand what's happening. But it's like, okay, this person's just a bit different, and that works for me. Next thing you must analyze the winning copy. So look at the webs, like for example, now let's say you are an American company, you want to do well with the you want to do well with the UK market. So rather, you're going to go to the websites of people that are currently dominating there, like the locals that are currently dominating there. Look at their website. Look at your top competitions in London, in New York. You know the people where you are trying to go to. How did they phrase their call to action? How do they speak? Is their tone aggressive? Are they disruptive? Like America, one thing about US, they're very disruptive kind of culture. Like, hey, this is me. But in another country, that might be like, relax. That is too much. You understand? So is it stable? Is it established? Stable and established, you look at it, that is more common in the UK. UK is more very, very like, okay, speak like they like stability. It's a very, you understand. Especially in UK financial aspects. So even when you are learning the culture, even there are still subcultures. It's like okay, it's not just all of UK that talk about that speak like this. Sometimes the way people in UK in this particular state, in this particular chef industry, for example, they have their own language, they have their own vibe, they have their own experience, they have their own different call to actions. So it's your job to go there and just kind of like check and listen to and say, okay, what do I pick? What do I understand? Now let's talk about the step two, the semantic mapping. So basically, you need to have like a translation table for your industry, identify the common phrases for like and their true meaning so that you will not be stumbled. Let's say you're having a meeting and you hear something like, wow. For example, let's hear the first conversation. It says, let's table this. What does that mean? It says, put it on the table, which means like, let's talk about this like now. Say, oh, let's talk about it like now. But that's UK. UK, when you hear let's table this, it's like we need to talk about this now. Or when you say, when America says let's table this, they say let's talk about it later. When the phrase goes, I'm not sure about this. This normally means I'm expressing doubt. UK, when they say it, is like this is a bad idea. Stop. But when US they say I'm not really sure about this, it's more like okay, I need more information, I need more data before I can like approve or disapprove. You understand? Now, next thing is like with all due respect, this is normally like oh, the meaning is I'm trying to be polite here. In UK, it's like with all due respect, understand this person really like I 100% strongly disagree. Versus when American or people in the US market say with all due respect, they're actually giving you, they're acknowledging your rank. Like yo, I really, really respect you, but I'm trying to say this. It's not a form of disagreement, it's just a form of like, I need to say this, you understand? I'm acknowledging you as my superior or whatever, you understand? So actually, so this is just a few, so this is just an example of the tabular form. So you actually go and do the tabular form and just kind of reread it and get used to the whole thing. So let's now we're going to talk about the network informants. Connect with members of the place you're trying to go who have already successfully integrated into where you're trying to go to. Like let's say you're like, oh, I'm trying to go to point B. Rather than just going to point B, you can look for people that have already succeeded in that space and be like, okay, hi, what was the one thing that you said or did that made people realize that you've got how things work here. Like, oh, I can work with you, and they can put you through. To be surprised, it could just be one person can end up changing your whole perspective on things. I remember there was this industry I was trying to break into as a strategic growth consultant. It was like a different field internationally. I've not gone into, and I was struggling. However, because I was able to meet one person who has already broken through that space, and I had a long conversation with him, and he also introduced me to another person's content. And with those two, it was like, oh my gosh, what felt so impossible like a month ago felt so easy now. So you'll be surprised how just one conversation could change the whole thing. Now we're going to talk about the power of the cultural slang in pitching. You know, when pitching, for example, to Africa to the West, you often face an unconscious bias regarding infrastructure or reliability. Using local industry slang like trucks heuristic is signal that you understand their world so deeply in geographic. Long story short, when you use certain keywords in certain places, it clicks to the person you're talking to, that oh, this person knows what we're talking about. In US, for example, with big wins, the so what in UK leads with the rationale, the why. So okay, so when you also need to understand where people grow up affects a lot. Affects a lot. So for example, UK would like to understand like, hey, why do I need this? Why should I work with you? Like, what is the thing? Like, why, so once they understand the why this is addition to my life or to my business, or that can get me where I need to be, or why is this addition to the customer, they're like, okay, I see what you're doing. Versus like you're in UK, like, I've done this, like, so what? How does this value me? It's more like, oh, be in my face, versus UK is like, oh, let me understand why this is of value to me. So what I'm trying to say. So little things like that can literally change it all. So if you would like this document, let me know. I'll send you a link to this document, or you can just rewatch this video anytime you're like you want a refresher. And I don't know, should I share this document for you? You know what? I'm just gonna share it to. I'm gonna share it to the to. It's gonna be in the link in the caption, so you can have access to this document, and you can learn a bit more. And if you'd like me to do more deep research for this, I make it longer or shorter, let me know. And yes, I'm very happy for you for your growth internationally, and I'm wishing you beautiful luck. And remember, if you want any consultations, like specifications, you want me to like do specific research or collaborations, you know how to do. I want me to work with you long time, short term, send me a DM. And if you have any questions, curiosities, um, comment in the cap. What did they comment? Comment in the comment section. And yes, if you also, I also love topic suggestions, so I do not mind. It's been lovely speaking to you, and I hope I added value to your business, your plan, and where you're going. To have a wonderful day, and I am thankful for your time. Bye.